Aaron, I know in the game you're kind of probably focused on just what's going on, but when you see a box score after and it's 36 assists and 9 different guys in double figures, how does that make you guys feel as a team?
I mean, it makes you feel good. You know, you understand that the whole team is kind of bought into, you know, playing together and playing the right way. And, I mean, it just speaks volumes to the individual players that we have on the team and, you know, how selfless of a team we are. So it speaks volumes.
And then defensively, what did you like best, particularly kind of starting the second half and putting the clamps on the game?
I mean, I think from the jump, just our defensive energy and our awareness as a team was really good. And to come out in the second half and kind of, you know, carry that over, and then towards the end of that third quarter also have a little push. I mean, that was big for us just to kind of put that game away. So just did a good job kind of paying attention to the details and being focused and locked in on that end.
Aaron, I can't help but notice the shirt in your back pocket. I imagine that's for the division title. I know you guys have your sights set on bigger things, but, like, what does that mean to this team?
Yeah, I mean, it's, you know, something that you don't take for granted. You know, to be in the position to, you know, clinch the division title, you know, it's not something that, you know, you're thinking about, like, throughout the season, but you just kind of, you know, work day in and day out, and you get better, and, you know, you take each game with the same approach and the same level of seriousness, and, you know, we were able to get to this point. So good accomplishment, you know, but obviously not the end of the journey. Have more to play for. So,
and obviously, like, I know you're close with Jay Will, but it feels like he's a guy that the whole team has been celebrating a lot this past month. Just what is it about him that makes you guys want to celebrate him the way you have, and I guess what about him makes it so that you guys kind of gravitate toward him, if that makes sense?
Yeah, I mean, he's just a character, both on and off the court. His personality is kind of contagious, and he always just kind of has a certain energy about himself that just kind of, you know, pours into the team and you know, just causes for, you know, just kind of good feelings, you know, day in and day out. So, you know, to see his success kind of continue and, you know, at the level that it is, guys are excited for him. So,
you guys, this team jumped out on Houston by 25. Was that on you guys' mind? Because you guys got to 17-2 start. You jumped on them really fast tonight.
Yeah, I mean, we saw, you know, obviously parts of that game. I think a lot of guys watch a lot of basketball, so they saw that. And, I mean, that was definitely on our minds, not to go into the game with any thought of, you know, taking them lightly or, you know, any different approach from any other game. So, you know, we tried to go out there and just from the jump make sure that we were kind of on it and set the tone for the game.
After your big February, were teams guarding you different after your big February, all the points and everything else?
I don't know. I didn't notice. I didn't really take notice. I just kind of go out there and play however the game kind of comes to me. So I wasn't looking to see if teams were playing me any different.
You won 26 tonight, and you hadn't really had that kind of explosion. You had 30 against Portland, I guess, for the road trip or whatever. But it seems like people may. I don't know if you were showing up more on the scouting report because of that or not.
I mean, I hope so. Just a sign of respect, you know. But I don't know, just trying to make plays in every way of the game. So,
Wiggins, not like tonight, whenever you do clinch your second straight divisional title and you've been here every step of the way, does it give you a chance to reflect as an individual and kind of team-wide of being here every step of the way?
For sure. I mean, you think about the growth and, you know, kind of where we were a couple of years ago. You know, it's something that you don't take for granted and you're, you know, happy to be a part of. So our whole team is, you know, continuing to just kind of understand that it's a long journey and there's steps in it, and this is a milestone, you know, that's a part of the journey. So
yeah, and they shot 57 threes, you shot 52, 109 total, especially on defense. Do you ever, in the middle of the game, do you ever stop and think, man, they're shooting a lot of threes?
Yeah, I mean, all the time. I think even on offense, you're thinking sometimes we're shooting a lot of threes, but if it's efficient looks and good looks on the offensive end, then you take them. And as a defense, you want to force teams to shoot tough threes. So, I mean, the game kind of is at the rim and beyond the line. So a lot of teams are shooting a lot of threes and trying to get layups. So I don't know. It's just a pattern of the game sometimes.
guys that are guarding you seem baffled that you're able to keep your pivot foot in some of these situations.
I think sometimes, like I've heard some reactions sometimes to different pivots when I get in the paint, or maybe even get stuck. But I don't know about baffled, but I've definitely heard some different reactions here and there.
How about when you go back down court and the whole bench is trying to reenact some slide step or Euro step or whatever you're doing?
They do that with every move. Just I don't know, just a funny group. So I don't know. Pivot work, footwork is part of the game, and something that I like, watching and putting into the game. So
Mark, just the offensive balance that you have and the sheer number of assists. What do you see in terms of just the guys kind of playing with that joy out there on the floor together?
Yeah, thought it was a very professional win. That's a team that had scored 130-plus points in the last 2 games. They've really scored the ball lately, and I thought we really set a tone early in the game defensively, and then offensively got out and ran, really shared the ball, and played unselfishly. I thought everybody that went in the game played with no agenda and just played for the team, and just a good outcome as a result.
This is the organization's 7th division title in the last 15 years. That's the second most in that span. And I just wonder if you could kind of put in perspective this accomplishment and not something to take for granted here to be able to do that.
Yeah, I told the team and congratulated the team. It's not something we take for granted. Everything in the NBA, every win, just one game is earned. And so when you win your division, it's earned. And it takes a lot of hard work. And this particular group has not taken any shortcuts to get to this point. And so we're incredibly grateful. Anytime you have the opportunity to win something, it's something we don't take for granted. This group of guys in particular deserve to be able to share in these accomplishments together because of the way that they operate professionally and how connected they are. So we've accomplished it by keeping our head down, and that's what we'll continue to do. But I just gave a nod to the guys. They deserve a lot of credit and should be incredibly proud of the accomplishment.
Mark, whenever you first got Jay Will, out of college, he didn't really shoot the ball, and now he's been having success in the NBA doing that. What's been the behind-the-scenes process of that evolution of his game?
Well, the first thing is he came into training camp as a rookie and was firing away. And I've said this before, but when a guy comes in and is shooting it with that type of confidence, you just kind of take note. And he didn't shoot it great. DJ White, who's the Blue GM now, was a video assistant at the time. And I remember we were watching practice film early, and I was like, can Jay Will shoot? Because I didn't know. But he was firing it up like he could. And DJ White was like, yeah, I think he can shoot. And I was like, well, DJ, that's it was his first week on the job. And I was like, well, that's your stake, And so DJ White was 1-0 on that one. But yeah, he came in firing, and then he's developed a nice diet and confidence and has stuck with it. He obviously had a great game, but he's a great developmental story for us. He's a great leader on this team. Can't say enough about him.
What about, that kind of hub position he plays? 17 rebounds but 11 assists. Which is the bigger deal for you?
Both, anything to help the team win, and all the invisible stuff, the assists are loud, but when he just catches it as an outlet and keeps the possession alive, Hartenstein's like that for us too. You get stuck on a possession, you can throw those guys the ball, and it resets the possession, and they can get something going again. So they're both proficient at it. It's a huge weapon for us in a game like tonight. It's kind of our plan A and how we play with the guys that we had out, and he did a great job again.
Ryan Carlson doesn't play at this level. I'm sure a lot of blue stuff, but he gets a couple threes, offensive rebound, ran down, tried to block a shot. He's active. He doesn't play timid.
No, he's impressive. He, he's the two-way players have a certain amount of days. So we've had him with the blue because we're managing his days as we come down the stretch of the season. But hopefully he's going to be with us more and more. But he's been like that from the jump. When he first started. We had a game, I think, in Sacramento. He went in at the end of a game. The game was over, and he started competing right off the bat, in very short minutes in a game that was a blowout. And, he's been like that. You play him against Cleveland, he's ready to go in the first quarter. Play him at the end of the game, he's ready to go in the fourth quarter. He's always ready to play, and that's a skill, and so deserves a lot of credit. He's gotten a lot better. Somebody we really respect.
Mark, what did you see from Dylan's first start?
I thought his work showed up. He's put a lot of work in, a lot of invisible work. He's obviously been in and out of the rotation. He's gone between the Blue and the Thunder, and that takes a lot of work. It's a lot of extra time. It's a lot of film. It's a lot of reflection. It's a lot of Blue games that there's 1,000 fans at. And so he went out there and functioned really well. Has improved his defensive fundamentals. He's become more of a system cog on offense. And I thought he was very stable tonight. He played very good minutes.
Mark, this is not exclusive to this week, but I mean in the past week alone, you go into Boston without Dub, you go into Detroit without Dub and Chet and lose Lou. The game you missed, however many of your top 7 tonight. Like, what is it about this team, no matter the circumstances, that just pulls out, wins like these?
Well, the first thing is we have good players up and down the roster. You can't play well without good players, and these guys are good. And a lot of guys are playing more narrow roles than they're capable of because they're on a really good team and they're willing to commit to a really good team. And then it's a group that plays with the whole better than the sum of the parts on both ends of the floor. They work together on defense. I thought we did a really good job on Grimes tonight early. He got a little bit late, but he's been going crazy lately, and we put a good 5-man effort on him early in that game to set the tone. And then on offense, the whole's better than the sum of the parts, no matter who's on the court. It's on-court chemistry, off-court chemistry. There's just an uncommon way of operating that they're committed to, that they own and deserve a lot of credit. That's why I mentioned the division stuff. We should be incredibly proud of that.
Yeah, Mark, 109 three-pointers tonight combined. I think it was Philly set a franchise record for, I guess it's 57. Second time in 2 weeks somebody set a franchise record shooting threes against you. Not making them, taking them.
Yep.
What's causing so many people to launch threes against you guys? Just anything causing that?
I think so. We've always been a high-volume three-point defense. Paint protection. You have to prioritize in the NBA, and the teams are good. You can't take everything away, and we prioritize the paint. We prioritize the best players on the other team. We prioritize putting guys in a crowd, and then playing the next part of the possession. Some of that, we have the luxury of having great closeout players, so we can try to do both. We can protect the paint and then fire. But you end up firing late, and teams oftentimes will take those shots. So we're not trying to force threes, but sometimes that's what they end up with on a possession. And given the alternatives, oftentimes it's something we're willing to live with, as long as it's not a clean look by a great shooter or a wide-open shot.
Yeah, along those lines, Coach, I was actually going to be my question, but then also on the other end of that, every single player tonight made at least 1 3.
Yep.
How much is that a testament to just not only what you guys are doing systemically, but also just to keep up that same intensity on defense as well?
Yeah, I thought, the guys did a great job sharing it tonight and to put each other at advantages. And when you do that, the defense is trying to take away the same stuff we're trying to take away, and sometimes the best shot is an open three. I thought a lot of our threes were high quality tonight and open. So, great ball movement. Guys stepped into those shots with confidence, which is what we want them to do. So, if those are the best shots you can get on a possession, you take them.
Mark, you mentioned guys being in a more narrow role when the team is complete. I just wonder what that's meant for Jay Will during his time here. Like, obviously you've added another starting caliber center since last summer. Like, how has that changed the role and how you've had to maximize him, and how comfortable he's maybe this year as kind of like third string or like in certain lineups with them, that sort of thing?
Well, a couple things. First one, that was in reference to not asking them to do anything outside of their game. And tonight, he had a great game, but he was inside of his game. He didn't change the way he played tonight. He played like Jay Will plays, whether he plays 10 minutes or whether he plays like he did tonight. So I thought he was very much in character. He didn't overextend or try to do anything other than the fadeaway, but he didn't overextend or try to do anything that he couldn't do. And then, every single guy on the team could probably argue that their role could be wider or bigger, but they're willing to sacrifice that in commitment to the team, and that's what makes the team special. That's what makes the team good. And he, in particular, is impressive because regardless of what his role is, which is fluid every night, he's always inside the team. It does not impact his energy. It doesn't impact his positivity. He's always connected to the guys. He's never in his feelings over anything. And he's just a great, I talk about his leadership. That is leadership in a nutshell. You know, the way he walks that walk and stays inside the team regardless of what's going on. I have huge respect for him. I know his teammates have huge respect for him. And so when he has a night like tonight, it's easy to be very happy for him.
I guess I just follow up then by asking, do you feel like it's been easier to maximize him, or that he's more comfortable now on a team that's added Hartenstein and kind of introduces the way Hartenstein plays versus, you know, before Hartenstein came around?
No, I mean, he's on his own track. I mean, they're different players, and he's a guy we believe in. I mean, he closed playoff games for us last season. So we're going to need him. You know, we're going to need all these guys, but we're going to need him at some point as we approach the end of the season and into the postseason. He's live in all those series because he's a competitor. He's got a skill set that's additive. As we get into the playoffs, we don't know exactly what we're going to need based on matchups, but we're going to need all these guys to be high impact and confident. And right now, he's high impact and confident, obviously.